Okay, welcome to a deep dive here. Look, the political symbol of Canada's democracy, the Parliament, is under what the Mayor of Ottawa calls an occupation by trucker protesters. Now the economic symbol, the Ambassador Bridge that goes from Windsor, Ontario to Detroit, Michigan, the busiest border crossing, is also under siege. There's also protests in Alberta and Manitoba. Now the federal government has been pressured to end it all, and as we just heard from a Conservative MP, talk to the protesters, negotiate with them. There are two questions. Should the government negotiate with leaders of what they call an illegal blockade? And more fundamentally, who are the actual leaders? On the second question, there's no clear answer. What started out as a grassroots movement is now quickly professionalizing into what police say is a well-organized and well-funded, they've raised almost $17 million, movement. Veteran police officers and military officers have now joined the protest crew, and new organization structure is evolving. There are several aspects to this quasi-political structure. There's a political leadership team. There's a more militant on-the-ground wing. There are the hardcore protesters who just won't leave. And there are the sympathizers. Now, the sympathizers are the people you see on the news. They show up at the weekend protests. They're regular folks who say, look, we agree we want vaccine mandates to end. They're frustrated citizens. The hardcore folks, they say, we're here for good. We're camping out. We brought our trucks. We've been here for weeks. We're living in our trucks. I spoke to some of those the other day. Now, how long are you going to stay here?
Till it's over.
Till what's over?
Till we get some change. Either the mandates let go or that we have the freedom back, that we don't have to, show a pass to get into a restaurant or a store, whatever it is.
Okay, they're not leaving till it's over. But what about the so-called political leadership? You might have seen press conferences with this leadership group. Check it out.
Good evening from around the world, around Ontario and around Canada. Thanks for tuning in tonight. The title of this broadcast, for many of you logging in tonight, may be called a preemptive SOS.
Okay, so who are some of these people? Well, let me show you some key people you need to know. Tamara Licht. Licht is the person behind the GoFundMe campaign that has raised over $10 million, and now the Give, Send, Go campaign that has raised another $7 million that the Ontario government has just targeted. She's not a trucker. She was a fitness instructor. She was active in the Western separatist movement. She was on the governing board of the Maverick Party, which has advocated for an independent Western nation. Another leader is Benjamin Dichter, a former Conservative candidate. He shifted to become a member of the People's Party, big supporter there. Here's a picture he tweeted out today from an Ottawa hospital where he's wearing a mask. He has openly said that mainstream parties are, quote, infested with Islamists, who he says will lead to the adaptation of political Islam, which is rotting away our society like syphilis. There's video of that. There's also Canada Unity, founded by a guy named James Bowder. It's overseeing all this. They're the group who wrote that infamous Memorandum of Understanding that promised to replace the elected members of Parliament with a committee of Canada Unity members, an unelected Senate, and the Governor General. That was taken down 2 days ago. It's caused so much controversy. But there's also this man, Tom Marazzo. He's a new player. His LinkedIn profile says he's an ex-military officer who served for over 20 years. He's also a software developer, but he has military experience. There's also Daniel Bulford. Daniel Bulford is a former RCMP officer who was part of the Prime Minister's personal security detail during the Harper years. A senior RCMP source I spoke with today who worked with him said he was not on the close personal detail, but he was on the emergency response team. That means he was a counter sniper, one of those guys you see dressed all in green. You might see them on the roof of any security zone with a sniper rifle. He has extensive security knowledge, or as my source said, still scary. Finally, you have the militant wing. The man you probably need to know on the ground, you probably see him on social media, this guy named Pat King. You see him on TikTok, you see him on Facebook. He led the western part of the convoy. The leadership says he's not part of it, but he often refers to the higher-ups who give him the green light. He has the respect and the control over a lot of ground troops or people in trucks who drive around the city of Ottawa all day, which he calls doing freedoming. Back in December, he appeared to advocate for violence in his criticism of the government. Check this out.
The only way that, and I'm going to say it out loud, the only way that this is going to be solved is with bullets. And yeah, I said it. That's the only way something's going to happen. a massive revolution on a huge scale. Is the only way you'll ever make a difference on this. You've never seen you vote your way out, vote your freedoms back. You've never been able to jab your way back. You guys are losing everything.
Today he was driving around Ottawa on Facebook Live, saying that they may start driving around schools to show the Freedom Convoy. And back in 2019, he posted a video. It's been on the account that archived the Yellow Vest Canada movement, advocating for white replacements in theory, saying that Anglo-Saxons are being replaced by other races because he alleges they have the strongest bloodlines. Check this out.
It's called depopulation of the Caucasian race, or the Anglo-Saxon. And that's what the goal is to depopulate the Anglo-Saxon race.
Okay, so Pat King, he's another major figure. That's the basic structure of the political side and the ground troops. Now, some people are dismissing this as just a grassroots protest. It is evolving, folks. It is a well-organized movement right now, one that police forces across the province of Ontario and across the country are having a very difficult time trying to deal with. Coming up, the convoy protests originally warned Canadians that the vaccine mandate for truckers would raise prices and lead to shortages of goods. But now it's their own protest at the border that's causing supply chain issues. Flavio Volpe, the president of the Automotive Parts Manufacturers Association, joins us with his view of the protest on the Ambassador Bridge. Stay with us next.